We are live. Live on Veterans Day. Okay, there we are. Hey, Joe, would you warm me up a little bit?
And I've got the pep talk behind me, Joe. You sure you don't need me to get the studio set up? I'd love to do the little. Although he was probably here last on Friday.
I was.
No, I said he was.
Oh, yeah, he was, yeah.
Can you do me a little bit more? Okay, I think that's good. And then one last thing. Will you turn my sound down? Will you turn my sound down a little? Thank you. Mine didn't change. Okay, you went up instead of down on that. Perfect. Thank you.
The days of ruling, the nice days are over, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But just be nice. Who cares what had? Just be nice.
So you want somebody to murder your loved ones?
You're just making things really far-reaching.
Good morning, Kimberly.
I want to be nice.
Well, they say that until
they hear something they don't like.
Yes, exactly. And then they want blood.
They're,
you know,
I'm talking to a young Democrat guy, young African American. I brought him up before. I feel bad for him because he's somewhat educated, but he is just dumber than a box of rocks, and his hatred is worse.
Oh, yeah, that's
why that's why there's no like,
oh, let's work together.
Oh, work with us. You can't work with people who hate you. And people who did not vote for Donald Trump, they just don't dislike him. They hate him.
Yeah,
they hate him.
That's true.
Now, thankfully, there's about 7 million less of them. And they're only in little pockets of the country.
Well, you know,
but he's like, I ran down the list of things of just by Donald Trump's presence, being the president, all these things are happening now.
Mm-hmm.
Hamas wants to end the war. Putin and Russia are serious about what's happening. What else happened? 3 other things. Oh, the stock market going up. Crypto's flying high. And he's like, well, Trump doesn't get credit for that. He's not even the president yet. I'm like, are you dumb? I mean, why do you think this is happening?
No, they know he's coming. They know he's going to be the
president. Is it Kamala's? No, it's not Kamala. It just happens. Okay.
Yeah. It's
just out of nowhere.
It's so funny.
But we've had some dumb people like that on the show. They're raised in bad parts of the country. They're raised by wolves and they're just dumb.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last week, and I don't know if it necessarily is where they're raised. I think that it's more the echo chamber that they choose to stay in, which is usually just negative. But
a lot of it's your surrounding community that's around you, though.
Yeah.
It's your friends, your family, your pastors, the school teachers.
Mm-hmm. But why you wouldn't choose to want to get out of such negativity, that's what blows my mind.
My daughter lost her friend group in high school. It was sad at a Catholic school. because St. Louis County's so damn liberal.
Mm-hmm.
They were like forcing them to take Black Studies classes, like forcing them.
Unbelievable.
And it's the kids. It wasn't the teachers. It was the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The kids like putting all this peer pressure.
That was the cool. It was the cool thing to do that and to be like super liberal.
And you're racist if you're not. Then you became racist if you weren't liberal.
Yeah. Well, we're all used to that. I mean, how many times have we been called that? Whenever we disagree with someone on the left, we're an automatic racist.
Let's be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that Cheerio. Oh, yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, Greg. Hey, Robert, Jeannie. Well, it's the show before the show, Jeannie. We're going to start here in a few minutes.
That's right.
Hey, Tanya. Did I already say good morning?
There's too much to get to. I mean, there's so damn much to get to today. But it's good. It's a Monday. It usually happens. We'll be talking with Scott Faughn to start off the show, too.
Oh, I was like, why are you confused? You're an hour off. Okay.
Say what?
Say what? I was an hour off too. I mean, I was in Indiana all weekend, so they're an hour ahead. And you would not think that hour would play with you that much, but wow, it really does.
Happy Veterans Day. We're here. Don't know where you guys are. Hope everything is going well. Yes, the hour can play with you. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Poor Jeannie. She's been looking for us for an hour to start the show.
When we started to do, last week we were doing every day, but it wasn't going back to 8. It was still 9. What time, like with Friday's show, Joe, when you loaded it for YouTube, what time did you load it for Monday?
Yeah, I loaded it for today, but after this show.
Okay. What time does that start?
10:30.
Okay. Yes, Robert, go Lions. Yes. They played incredibly horribly and still won last night, which is great. Chiefs again played not so great and still had a wild, crazy play to win for them. The theater in the NFL is something else.
Good morning, Karen.
For anybody who is interested, Fridays or the shows are always on audio format immediately after the show.
Thank you.
And then on Fridays we upload the show next day on YouTube.
Got it.
Yeah. Yep. It was a good game. Was there Saturday night, Greg? You're right.
Well, we could talk about Indiana too. That was another good game.
Yeah. Whoop. I mean, they're a fun story this year.
Yes.
Everyone's the same. The only issue is they haven't played a ranked team. So I can't judge Indiana being undefeated until they actually play a good team.
Like the Buckeyes?
Yeah. And that's we're going to find out about Indiana in 2 weeks. Everything broke great for them. Indiana's an awesome story and everybody loves their coach.
Yeah. Well, they just have some superb talent this year too.
They just haven't played. It's crazy how you can play in the Big Ten and go through an entire year and not play one ranked team.
Yeah.
Not one. That's how bad the Big Ten is.
We'll see how they do.
And I think it's at Ohio State too.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's 9.
9 o'clock.
Ready?
Oh, yeah. Pop it in at Presents partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners, and we continue to grow monthly.
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO-targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
Dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan, all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized,
and the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact together. Hey guys, welcome to CancelThisShow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, Pro Joe taking care of the boards. Hope everybody's good on this Veterans Day, November 11th, 11/11. It's a special day, 11/11.
It is a special day.
We're grateful that you're with us. Hope you had a good weekend. Lots coming up on the show. Not only is it Veterans Day, my gosh, so much continues to happen regarding Donald Trump. Final numbers are out when it comes to the mapping. We'll show you that. It looks so damn good. Is there a plot already? CNN reporting, agencies already plotting behind the scenes to ruin the presidency. We told you this was going to happen. It's not going to stop. The attacks will not stop. They will never stop. The battle between good and evil will never stop. Also, the other thing that's crazy is when it comes to the whole Trump situation, the Senate's his. The House is getting closer to being his. It's going to probably be his, even though there's got to be some sort of mass cheating attempts going on. There's no way it takes over a week later for House races. And most of the open ones are in California. Okay. Is the fact that the rhinos, the return of the rhinos.
Yep.
You've got a Senate majority candidate who wants to be in charge of the Senate, telling Trump he needs to back off. The rhinos are still there. Mitch McConnell and his crew, they're not going anywhere. This is why you must clean out the House. These are the same people that Democrats tried to say, even the Republicans don't like them. No, it's because they're not really Republicans.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to get into that. But Donald Trump, he and RFK are not kidding. They have come, and we're going to talk about what they're planning on doing. They're telling you what's going to happen right now. They're telling you what they're going to do and how they're going to change things. But Megan, I'd like to start with the map because it's now official. Arizona was called.
Yes.
I think I sent Joe a map. Do you have the map? Okay, then I didn't send you the map. Arizona was finally called. So Donald Trump's win becomes a 312 electoral vote, as we said that we thought it would. So he got what he needed to get done, 312 electoral votes. It is massive. Joe, what I meant was the map where CNN is breaking down how historic Donald Trump's victory was. So 312 electoral votes. He's got the Senate, the House is coming. But you actually start to break down some of the more numbers. He also had 40% of women under 30. 40% said, no, we don't want Kamala anymore. That's huge for Donald Trump. Huge. But here it is. Even CNN was breaking down here over the weekend just how big this win is. And And media is not covering like they should. I mean, we're talking about one of the biggest. I mean, this is a massive win, and they're not covering it. You're not going to get it, but you'll get it here.
Holy Toledo. All right. Trump gained ground in 49 states and the District of Columbia compared to 2020. I went back through the record books. When was the last time a party gained in so many different places? You have to go all the way back to 1992. No matter where you look, Donald Trump was improving on where he did 4 years ago, except for Washington State. He looks like he's going to be the first Republican to win the popular vote since George W. Bush back in 2004. Trump's was the best GOP showing among 18 to 29-year-olds in 20 years. You have to go all the way back to 2004. How about among black voters? It was the best performance for a Republican candidate for president in 48 years since Gerald Ford back in 1976. And among Hispanic voters, the exit polls only go back since 1972. But Donald Trump's performance on Tuesday was the best for a Republican presidential candidate in exit poll history. He literally goes all the way back through history and breaks history. This election was about breaking through and going to that Democratic coalition and tearing it apart. Holy.
Yeah.
He did tear it apart.
We loved every bit of it.
Yeah. And, you know, we talk a lot about, well, we don't, but Eric, when he comes on the show, he talks a lot about this group of women that is, you know, 40s and, you know, these soccer moms and stuff, and how he was so afraid that they were not going to vote for Trump, that they were going to stick to this Kamala thing. But, you know, I truly, truly believe that people really were sick and tired of all of the BS that the left was throwing at us. I mean, I think that people were already, you know, put off about pulling Biden from the race, putting someone in that should not have been put in. There was not one vote to have her in the running. And, you know, they were starting to catch on that she was saying one thing to one group of people, saying another thing to another group of people. And like, I'm so excited and so proud that people did catch on, because I got to say, I did not think, especially in the women group. Now, with the Black communities and the Latino communities, I was confident that it was going to be these kind of numbers, because like we've been saying, Trump was taking the time to go into these communities, you know, places that the Democrats have usually been and gone in and made, you know, several broken promises over and over and over. And he went in, and like even Bernie Sanders is like, you know, how could they not vote for Trump? He went in and told them, I see you, I hear you, and I'm going to help you. I mean, there was no other way. You didn't see Joe Biden and Kamala Harris doing that. It just didn't happen. And, you know, that's why we've said, like, the guy did not stop. I mean, every day, every hour, the guy was out there trying to reach people, you know, the people of all classes, all Americans, the hardworking Americans. And, you know, the word got out, and not only to the women, but to everyone. And it was just so great to see, because I was leery. I really was, because, you know, you get Kamala Harris and, you know, they keep talking about how she's a woman and she's a Black woman and she's an Indian woman and she's all of these wonderful things. We have to make her be the first this and that and whatever, you know. I mean, she
don't worry about it.
I
it's
know.
All good. It was too big to rig.
But here we go. Yeah, you were right about that. I didn't know how that was going to play out.
But the best part is the fact that he won. The worst part is that you'll always be battling something, even when you have all three branches, which it looks like he's going to have. There's, I think, 18 more races to call. Republicans only need 4. They only need 4 more to get the House, which is awesome. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, when you talk about some of these things that are going on, we get very excited about it. And you just saw, I mean, I just told you how young people loved him. And here's something I never thought I would see. I was at the University of Missouri over the weekend, and I absolutely love what this fraternity did. This viral video is amazing. It's from the Sigma Nu fraternity at the University of Missouri. I mean, hundreds of thousands of views when what they did. This was a pledge class that did this, and they released it last week. Hundreds of they may be millions of views by now. Local news was even trying to do stories on them. Fox National called them to do a story. And what's interesting when you see what they did is allegedly they had 2 massive donors who pulled their money, liberal donors who pulled their funding from Sigma Nu. So hopefully Sigma Nu can get some good publicity.
Get some help.
Here's what their pledge class did. Check it out.
There was never ever any doubt, Kamala, you're fired.
Love it.
Sigma Nu, you rock, you roll. Hopefully,
cute.
people give them the credit they deserve. An entire pledge class. I saw lots of Trump at the University of Missouri over the weekend too. Shirt, signs, hats. Loved it. It goes into what you were saying, Megan, just about the support that's actually there, which is why, as we always said, don't listen to the media. You are in the majority and enjoy it. Arizona over the weekend. Of course, it was on a Saturday that they declared it. Of course, they're trying to just lessen the blow. We're not going to talk about this historic victory. So that's why we do it. That's where the 312 electoral votes, 312, it was a landslide. The worst candidate in the history of this country, the DEI hire, gets put in her place. So Arizona finally goes the way of Donald Trump. That's all the good news. And the good news also continues. I love this, especially on Veterans Day. Donald Trump has come out and said any military official associated with the Afghanistan pullout, as Donald Trump said, one of the most embarrassing military moment in the history of our country. That's what Donald Trump called it. Listen to what Donald Trump said over the weekend, what's going to happen. Because now the man of policy who's done this already for 4 years is telling you what he's going to do. And when he says he's going to do something,
it's as good as done.
It's as good as done.
We'll get the resignations of every single senior official who touched the Afghanistan calamity to be on my desk at noon on Inauguration Day. You know, you have to fire people. You have to fire people when they do a bad job. We never fire anybody. You got to fire them. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. You did a lousy job. You did a terrible, terrible disservice to our country. You get fired when that happens. Nobody got fired. Nobody ever gets fired in this administration. It's amazing. All the bad things that have happened, nobody ever gets fired. The problem is when you fire somebody, they always end up writing a book about you, you know? I've had more books written about me. I fire a lot of people when they don't do a good job. I get a book written about me by all these losers that get fired.
Wow.
Yeah. And see, and that is the point that I love that he is making, and people are listening now and they're hearing him. You've got all of these, military leaders that have been saying awful things about him, calling him all these names and saying that he said all of these things. And he's like, you know why they said it? Because they're horrible. And I told them that they were horrible and I got rid of them. And now they're going to come back like children and say all of these things about me. And it just,
and if you're looking for a reason to dislike somebody, you can go find a reason.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Oh, well, look what they said.
Yeah. Well, and he has no problem firing people. And like you said, I mean, does it typically happen in our history? No, but he is unprecedented. He does things in his way. That's why we had a landslide victory, because people are ready. People know that that's what our country needs. And we have to have him in there. And if he's going to do things like go around and fire people that need to be fired, let him do it. He knows what he's doing and he doesn't care. He has nothing to lose, and he's ready, to take everybody on. And that's why the rhinos are freaking out. That's why it's taking this long to get the House counts. That's why, that people all over the world, military leaders, terrorist leaders, everybody's taking a couple steps back and being like, all right, we got to rethink our game because the big guy's coming back.
Well, I haven't seen all the people leave. Barbara Streisand, Sharon Stone, Bruce Springsteen, Clooney. Who else was on the list?
Oh,
Whoopi.
did you hear Clooney? He's going to take, he's decided to take a step away from the political world.
Oh, yeah. It's because you're a dumbass.
I didn't know you were in it.
The only thing that's better than George Clooney looking like a complete ass, which is what he is, he's not an intelligent man. He was an actor. Most of the time, actors are not intelligent. They're not. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not anything close to political or business owners. They're just not. Clooney, the only thing to be better is to look him in his 5'5" frame and say, listen, you opened your mouth, just shut up.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about you. You're not that important. Just go off to Italy somewhere and enjoy yourself. Just shut up. Shut up.
They say that he was the one.
The arrogance. The arrogance.
He was kind of that final, sign on the dotted line to get
He was
old Joe Biden out and put Kamala in, and look where it got him. And
where are these people leaving?
I don't know.
Where's the media coverage?
Go.
Local news, national news. Where are you?
I mean, they're going to
These are
cry
your
baby for
people.
months and say that they're going to go, and let's go. Like, come on, we're waiting for you. We're gonna give you that, that exit that you've wanted. We're gonna be there clapping for you, and maybe a little confetti for you. But yeah, Chris, General Milley is scared.
He should be.
Yeah.
Talk about a POS coward, man of zero courage. The other thing is that Trump isn't worried about any of it. He's already got all the policies going. This is so damn good. We already talked about the Afghanistan. Here's Trump talking about what he's going to do for families. Oh, women, he doesn't care. The detractors, he doesn't care about women. He takes women's rights away. Yeah, here he is with IVF, talking about financial backing and tax credits. And I mean, it's just great to have a leader with a plan that's not afraid of a camera, not afraid to tell you what he's going to do and then hold himself accountable.
I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes, so that parents that have a beautiful baby will be able. So we're pro-family. Nobody's ever said that before. But the IVF treatments are expensive. It's very hard for many people to do it and to get it. But I've been in favor of IVF right from the beginning. I'm announcing.
Yeah, because you're a leader, you're a winner, and that's why you crushed the Democrats. You crushed Kamala Harris. You crushed Joe Biden. You crushed Barack Obama. You crushed all of Hollywood. You crushed the Diddy party mix of people who came out to support
the goofball.
Kamala.
Yeah. Well, and there are so many people on the left that are upset about all of the money that was given to Kamala Harris. Well, actually, it was given to Joe Biden in the first place for his campaign. But, people are up in arms because they're like $20 million. And you have, Lizzo and, all of these other people just show up to do these concerts that nobody cared about. So there are a ton of people that are really upset about where the donor money went.
Yeah, the donor's upset. What it is it's $20 million is what she needs. They're in the hole. They overspent $20 million. And when you break it down from the public records, guess where most of the money was going? It was to the entertainers they were hiring to come out. It was for that. It was for social media influencers. So this was the most expensive election campaign in the history of the world. $1 billion campaign for Kamala Harris. $1 billion, outspending the Trump team by 3-1, nearly 3-1. $1 billion, and somehow they're $20 million over
on twerking concerts. I mean, that's it. Who else did she had? She had Lizzo. Who?
Bon Jovi.
Bon
Jovi, get your ass
Megan
out of the country too.
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion.
You're just
How
not
could
that
I
cool
forget
anymore.
that? Yeah, I mean, just all of these people paid, J-Lo to come up and act like she was, upset and sad, and she's got other things to be worried about. I don't know why she was there. I mean, she bad girl better watch her back.
Yeah, I know. I know. And then what you have is now you have a former Kamala aide begging Joe Biden to back off of office, to retire and let Kamala take over the presidency.
Can you believe this?
For the last few days of office, just to give people an idea of what kind of president she can be. I'm not kidding you. This black aide saying, now we can watch a black woman, anything to try to do that.
When you think you've heard it all. You hear this.
That's what they came. That was the new rallying call yesterday. Joe Biden, we need you to step down and let because you can't do the job, Joe.
Yeah.
Now that she's gotten here, this is what people on the left do. This is why I used to say have these conversations. Now I'm like, the people, the left has lost their mind so much that it takes the right person with truly an open mind that's going to listen to points. Because if you don't find the right person, and I think they're far and few between, they are so far gone. There's no
So
help.
far gone.
Won't be able to do anything.
Yeah. And for them to say that Trump was going to, come in and just disintegrate democracy and our country was no longer going to be a democracy. And yet they just keep pushing the envelope. Nothing that they have done or want to continue to do is democratic. It's just not. I mean, for someone to come in and say, well, this would be great. She could show everybody her leadership and, all this money wouldn't have been wasted because she really would be the president and she would be the first female, Black, Indian, former DA, all of these things. It's like, just stop. Just stop. It's not going to be that way. We're going to have a snoozer for the rest of his, presidential, time. And then come January, we're going to put the real guy back in. Just enough. Enough is enough. You've already made a complete mockery of our country this past year with what you've done. So just, a stop with all the craziness. I mean, it's already been a circus. The rest of the world is just laughing at us. And, it's
not
just
anymore.
Time. Yeah, no.
Not anymore.
No,
not anymore.
They see the real deal
Things
right now.
Things have changed, and we've been talking about everything that's been happening already. Times have changed. They know. It's like, okay, yeah, let's get things back in order. Let's make sure that we have everything in order. We're talking about, I mean, you literally had the European Union last week saying they want to buy natural gas from us now, America, to avoid any Trump tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
That had nothing to do with Biden.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with Kamala. Putin came out and said that he's going to sell Russian oil in U.S. dollars again.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what you call a leader. And I'm sorry, people on the left. Some of you, it's your fault that you're so dumb. And some of you, it isn't your fault that you're so dumb and racist. I know every situation is different, but you can always now look at facts and then move. And if you choose not to move and stay in the same cesspool of disinformation that you so love, then that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
I continue. Hamas calling for peace last week. Zelensky held a private phone call with President Trump and Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico breaking up a major migrant caravan that was headed for America. But none of this could be stopped by Kamala or Biden. Once again, this show is about facts. It will always be about facts first. Your puny little we don't care for feeling second.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need policy. We need truth before we can have anything else. Oh, and then, of course, the stock market flying higher.
Mm-hmm.
Sin, nature is healing.
That's right.
But the deep state will not sit back and allow good to occur. Deep state equals evil. Evil equals bad things. Equal means attacks. And that's why you have to just continue to whack-a-mole whenever you see one pop up.
Yep. Hey, what do you think the conversation with Zelensky and Trump and Elon Musk, how do you think that went?
Well, I could hear Elon talking, and you've got quite a bit of money, and that's going bye-bye.
Yes. I mean, Zelensky is probably over there
You
going,
suck,
wah,
Zelensky.
wah, wah.
I saw your new mansions. We're gonna bomb them.
I see your wife out shopping at Gucci and Prada every other day. I think you guys are doing all right. Yeah, but no,
yes,
there's
Nancy. We just talked about that. A former Kamala aide was begging Biden to step aside.
I mean,
so that
just
Kamala
takes
could
the
be
cake.
president for 2 days or whatever.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Anything to try to tear down Trump. The sad thing is that even CNN, while CNN doing a decent job of reporting the historic numbers that Donald Trump had, CNN also reporting over the weekend, though, that the Pentagon is in deep discussions on how to ruin the Trump presidency.
Yep.
This is why, you know what? Trump is a divider, and he is divisive. You know why? Because he's dividing the good from the evil.
That's right.
That's exactly what he is doing. He's dividing Americans from non-Americans. That's right. He is a divider. And I hope he is more of a divider because we have got to get the bad apples out. This is why they've got to go through and fire and start over as much as they can with every one of those government agencies that they possibly can.
Yep, that's for sure. And then, after people are divided. They can choose. They can watch. They can see what happens, and maybe they're going to want to switch sides. I don't know why they wouldn't, but I mean, I think it's important for him to put out some boundaries and make sure that everybody knows loud and clear what his plan is. And the monkey business is over. He's going to come in. He's going to clean house, and he'll clean house. It's not just going to be on the left. Like we were saying earlier, the rhinos. I mean, the deep state is deep, and it's on both sides. It's not just on one side, and he wants to make sure that he exposes as many people as he can, and get our democracy, get our republic back to a republic, and make sure that the people are heard. And I think it was Donna earlier said, we have spoken and we've been heard, and he's going to make sure that he just gets louder and louder and louder. And, that's the other thing too. I've seen
does he need to?
So many people on the left this last week say, if you think I'm loud now, you just wait. I'm going to get louder and louder. And I'm like, yeah, you just keep going. Keep using those fingers on that keypad, because you're just getting louder and louder. You're just making change with those thumbs, just over there, trolling. It's like, that's the problem with the left, is that they just talk, and they don't do anything.
No more talkie.
Yeah, no more talkie. No
the
more.
Donga need food.
Oh my God.
Sorry, 16 Candles.
I know. Long Duck Dong.
Okay, I was just making sure you knew.
That's like one of my favorite movies. And my, that's my girl, Molly Ringwald, even though she's a super lib. We won't.
It's all right.
I'm mad at her for that.
In a moment of levity, can I show you Joe Biden over the weekend? Yeah. We haven't seen Joe really doing much. But you know what he's battling?
What?
He's battling
the ice cream blues.
No, he's battling sand.
Okay. Oh, geez. Oh,
Look
no.
at him,
he doesn't fall, does he? Oh, no. Oh, no.
This is you dumbass effing Democrats wanted this man in office.
Why isn't Jill holding his hand at least?
She doesn't care about him. She's tired of wiping his ass.
She looks like she might be struggling a little bit too. Why did they take him here?
Because they wanted to. This is why. They want to get him out and put Kamala in.
I look like that walking in Sam like that.
What are you going to say to Trump on Wednesday?
Oh my gosh.
Mr. President, what are you going to talk with Trump on Wednesday?
Unbelievable.
Out of all the places, the only thing worse than having him walk in sand is putting him back on a bike.
Oh gosh.
I mean,
poor
literally.
Man. I mean, why?
Why can't they just sit him in a stand?
And they're all sitting back
eating
just
an
watching
ice cream
him.
Cone. This isn't out of chance. This is on purpose. This is on purpose.
I mean, even his own, Secret Service is standing there going, oh my gosh, why did we bring him to the beach? Why didn't we just put him out like on a nature trail somewhere with, a hard surface? And I mean, I feel, every time I start to feel sorry for him, then he turns, I know. And then he turns around and says something really
the
mean
more,
and ignorant.
the more you hang around, we're changing you.
Okay.
You don't feel sorry for evil crime families who have done so much harm. And so, you know what? Because you love kids. If you ever want to feel sorry for him, just think about the grandkid that he abandoned.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Navy.
Yeah, just
I'll
think
say
about
her
that.
Name. He doesn't. Her name's Navy.
He is a
really
piece
cute.
of shit. He is an evil man. So is Hunter. So is that whole freaking liberal machine.
I know.
And I will say it and come across as being hardcore. People who know me know I have a heart of gold and I care about people, but I will call stuff out no, that man has done more. I think about the people who were murdered, the people who were raped, the people who've gone through all kinds of horrific crimes because of border and because of lack of policing and security. That's what I think of. I'm not going to be one of these bleeding heart liberals. Like, oh, let's just get along.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to why can't we get along? Because you hate Trump.
Yeah.
Because you won't open your mind to any other possibility. Because you stole the 2020 election. And you still, I've talked to two people. Oh, just more people were excited at that time. That's why 81 million people voted. Okay, whatever.
Well, and the latest was he did call all of us that support Donald Trump garbage, which, I guess if you got soft feelings like the left, you probably took that to heart. I personally did not, because I know that he just, talks and talks, and he doesn't even know what he's saying half the time. And he is. I mean, he is a liar, and he's been known to lie. He's lied going all the way back
Good.
to his
So you
first
don't-
days
so
in
don't ever
Congress.
feel-
I know.
don't ever
That's
feel
what I'm
sorry.
saying. Like,
No.
but like your first response when you see an old
No, he needs.
old
You know
guy
what? He needs
struggling
to go.
to walk.
No, he needs to go die the death of the life that he lived. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
I know he's mean, and he
The
does. And
horribleness
he does.
that he has
lies.
caused people.
Yeah.
The lies.
And he also was helping to try and promote that, the propaganda about Trump being, a Nazi and Hitler and, tearing down democracy. And he was going to, come in and, and take over. And he wanted to, what was the thing that they were trying to say that he was going to be? Not an aristocrat. What is going on with my brain today? On day one, dictator. What's wrong with me? Doesn't even sound like aristocrat, but yeah. So I know.
It's all right.
It's just hard.
No, but all of this good is happening. You see the disaster that the Dems are. We feel good. On this Monday, I wake up so damn feeling great. Happy Veterans Day. And you know what? Happy birthday to the Marines as well. The Marines' birthday was yesterday. And the first vice president being a former Marine, J.D. Vance.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to you as well. Happy birthday to the Marines. Get a more, I guess, respectful attitude towards our military services, our first responders, our police officers, men and women, all colors of the skin. That's what Donald Trump represents. That's who he talks about. Not the perpetrators, but for the victims. Not the crime doers, but those who've had crime done against them. This is what Donald Trump and the Conservative Party is all about. Hopefully these days are gone. Hopefully there's enough time to get the job done. Thankfully, he's put together the best team, it appears to be, that you could ever possibly imagine. And this show started a year and a half ago. We started talking about the number one issue. I said it flat. I said it every day. It was the border. And now it's time to clean up the bullshit that we have at the border and get stuff done. And here is the best part. Donald Trump was not lying. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. That's why the left, that's why the deep state, that's why the bleeding heart liberals could not stand him, because they know he's going to get stuff done. Then they won't be able to complain or bitch about anything, and they can't play victim. You know people in your life who play victim, don't you?
Oh, many.
Yeah, you
Too
can't.
many.
Trust me. We all go through these times. It's like, woe is me, woe is me. Hey, a lot of us go through tough times. You just can't say it. You got to stay positive and keep pushing through. Well, Donald Trump at the border was not kidding. We showed you Tom Homan before. Tom Homan. He is going to be, we've officially got a border czar who Donald Trump is pegging for the position. This man destroyed, and I mean absolutely destroyed, AOC, who, is half a brain politician, destroyed her on immigration, destroyed her on the border in video that we showed on this show. He's so damn good, has a history, and he represents Donald Trump. If this doesn't get you excited, I don't know what does. Here's his interview with 60 Minutes. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a leader, not Kamala Harris, who was the border czar, who refused to accept it, lied about it and said she didn't have the job. And we showed you the media coverage. We showed you the liberal left saying she was the border czar. Her own words, the White House even saying she was the border czar. Here's Donald Trump's border czar king, and he is ready to take over. And just listen to the last thing he says.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Hell yes! Woo!
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88.
Easy.
There you go.
Welcome to 2024. All of your bleeding heart liberal bullshit is over. All of the attacks on this country to tear us apart from within, it's over. It's over. We're going to try to do our damnedest, just like Donald said. He was not kidding. Yeah, you go too. You tried to use somebody who was legal to get illegals in here. And now if you want to stay with that family, bye-bye. Bye-bye. You break the law, you do the time, you do the crime. See you, sucker.
That's right. And it's one of these situations where you have to take the emotion out of it. You have to be able to put the facts together. And the facts are this. There's not going to be these you hear all of these progressive lefters right now going around and saying that there's going to be all these containment camps, and they're going to start separating kids, and they're going to start separating the mothers from their young children, and people's lives are going to be torn apart. And then you've got them saying that they're afraid that Trump wants to put them in a containment camp, and all of these other crazy stories. But the fact of the matter is that your man Obama, okay, was the one that started all of the separating families and keeping children, in what you guys call, cages and like animals. It's not. But he was the one that started that. Something had to be done. There was a process that had to be done. And is it sad that there are families here that are going to have to leave together now? And is it sad that, people make this long trek here, and they come with their children, and they do it illegally, and they break the law?
Mhm.
Yes, it is sad. But you know what? When it's cause and effect, when you break the law here, especially in America, we have not been holding people to it. We have been letting them run free. We
Mhm.
have been allowing criminals to come into our country illegally, and then go and commit crimes, rape, kill our children, our people here. And so what needs to happen is that if you're going to break the law, you need to know that. You need to know that you're taking a big chance when you do bring your children here, when you do come from Venezuela or Honduras or Colombia, wherever you're coming from. If you're going to make that choice, you need to know that there's going to be a price to pay now. That there's new leadership in. And so if you choose to break the law, I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it, you're going to have to pay the price.
And
So
it is a
don't.
crime to come into this country illegally.
right.
You don't meet crime doers. You don't meet lawbreakers with love.
Oh, let's go to the border and let's assimilate them into our culture.
Mhm.
Oh, doesn't that sound so sweet?
Anybody who
sounds
would say that,
crazy.
yeah, they're dumb, they're communist, they're nobody can be that stupid.
Yeah.
And to teach other people to do that, just dumber than a box of rocks. I'm sorry, Tom Homan's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Are you sure you can deport people without breaking up their families? Yeah, we'll deport them. The families can stick together. See you, sucker.
you come together, you leave together.
It's
simple.
Politics can be so damn easy,
Mm-hmm.
but we let feelings get in the way of facts.
And the thing about this guy, Tom Homan, is he's a former police officer, border patrol agent. He has seen
He's
the
a
worst.
former head of ICE.
Right. He's seen the worst of the worst, and he's seen the best of the best. And he knows, and he also being, on Trump's administration for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, he's been there. He's seen this, he's done it. And man, he is excited because he has seen these people break the law, and he has seen that he has gotten no help from the left at all to try and create some kind of order.
And something that's near and dear to your heart, allegedly 130,000 missing kids still from the border. That we had talked about.
350,000
Yeah, there you go.
kids now.
Trump,
That's what we're up to.
So Trump, we told you about Susie Wiles on Friday. Historic pick, ran arguably the best presidential campaign I've ever seen. And then, of course, Trump awarding her with the chief of staff position.
Mm-hmm.
Trump putting Tom Homan in for border czar.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be his attorney general? Last week, we told you a couple of Missouri names being thrown away.
Yeah.
Andrew Bailey, Eric Schmidt, two outstanding politicians, and just good all-around guys. Coming in to talk more about that. We talked with the man who knows more about Missouri politics than anybody. That's what I gave him as his moniker, Scott Faughn from the Missouri Times. Scott, it's been a little bit. I know you were out and about getting things done. Thanks for taking some time with us this morning. How's life?
Good. You probably met Missouri's foremost political expert that's a hillbilly. As I
Okay.
come to you live from my F-150 this morning.
You
Boy,
represent Missouri.
Missouri.
Well, that she's got it right.
Missouri.
You're off. Man.
Mhm.
It's Missouri. You all are set in Missouri, which is it's fine for the kind of people that like that sort of thing. And I think I come to St. Louis every so often myself.
Well, that's what you call St. Louis. You call St. Louis, Missouri.
Of course, anywhere where you kind of have cul-de-sacs and Priuses and Starbucks, that's Missouri. But real Missouri, where I'm from right now, we drive F-150s and we just drink
Mhm.
whiskey straight.
You're so toxic. Good grief.
I am toxic.
You're so masculine.
And I tell you what, since this is a state holiday, about 3 o'clock this afternoon, I'll be especially toxic. I might even be septic or alcohol poisoned or something.
Hey, have you caught up with Eric Schmidt or Andrew Bailey since announcements came out last week that they were being considered for U.S. Attorney General?
I have. I tell you.
What's the latest?
I sure hope we don't lose either one to that job. I got to tell you, I like Trump. I think Trump's hilarious. I like a lot of the things he does, but it ain't a real great track record of being his lawyer. Success doesn't really follow. I mean, Rudy Giuliani used to be America's mayor, as a multimillionaire. Now the old boy is penniless and he's got hair dye run down the side of his face. I mean, and I think what they did was wrong, kind of. I also think he lied on them gals about that voting stuff, and I think he knew it. So I don't know. He was highly unsympathetic. Now he's sympathetic. I don't think either Bailey or Schmidt are really looking to be sympathetic. Is my thing. I think Eric Schmidt has a tremendous path. He's the most popular elected official in this state. I think he could be president of the United States one day. I just you tell me, Vic, who has taken the job of Attorney General for Donald Trump, or even really any lawyer job for Donald Trump, and came out better for it? I also think
in the past, you're probably right, but that was also because they were battling, and tell me if I'm wrong, battling what I call, even deep liberal Bill Maher calls a deep state. Come on, the DOJ has been all over
just
Donald
call it
Trump.
what it is. You ain't got it to this hillbilly. Look, Vervis Jones, a drinking buddy of mine, he told me there's two things white trash and blacks have in common.
Tashara Jones' father, by the way.
Great. He's a hell of an old boy to drink with. Neither blacks nor white trash. We don't watch hockey and we don't trust cops. I don't trust the Department of Justice as far as I can throw them. If you put me on the jury, I would believe the drug dealer 10 times before I believed anybody in the Department of Justice. I trust them zero. I've seen what they did to Trump. I've seen what that Roger Stone and Bannon. Listen, Donald Trump's got flaws. He is a scumbag. If he tried to date my sister, I'd shoot him in the face. But I'll tell you this: that ain't a crime. That ain't a crime. Look, I think Donald Trump has serious issues and I voted for him 3 times now. But I'm not blind to the fact he doesn't always tell the truth.
Has issues.
I think that's very accurate.
You've got to have issues.
Trump is flawed like all of us, probably in some ways more so if you want the truth. But the fact is, he didn't commit no crime. I was about done with Trump. I mean, Vic, I come on your show. I was about done with Trump. And then they started arresting him every 3 days for just ridiculous stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm with that guy. If he's that threatening to them folks, I'm with that old boy. I think that the problem with being AG here is, to do a good job, you are going to have to gut the Department of Justice and the FBI, fire how many people. It's going, and I think that is going to be, whoever takes this job, it's going to be their last major contribution to this country, because you will have to amass so many enemies to do this job right. And I'll be the first one to support whoever goes in there. Remember when Ari Gold and Entourage got brought back into the firm? He had that paintball gun and just started. I hope whoever the new AG is, show up to the headquarters of FBI, just start paintballing them old boys. And whoever has orange on them, fired. I don't think you can fire too many people at the Department of Justice if you want the truth. And I don't know that leads to Eric Schmidt's strengths. I honestly think Eric Schmidt has too good of a thing going on to do that. Andrew Bailey, it is a bigger promotion. Let's just talk hogs, dogs, and logs here, Vic. The truth is, U.S. Senator with a lot of things going for him. I'm not sure it's a promotion to go fight. You are going like the 7 Spanish Angels song. You're fighting your last fight here. You'll go out of public service, and folks like us will love you if you do a good job. Folks in every other corner of the media will hate you. Andrew Bailey, it's a little bit bigger promotion.
But can you share? But Scott, we're talking with Scott Faughn, creator of the Missouri Times, and what'd you say? You term yourself as the foremost expert of Missouri politics. That's a hillbilly.
Yes,
the
foremost hillbilly Ethan expert. Yes.
Okay, I was close. I was close in there.
Yeah, that you were.
What can you share?
For a
anything?
city guy, Vic, you were very accurate. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, dude.
For Missouri,
I think
what did Eric and Andrew tell you, or what can you share?
Both honored. Both you have to do a little extra paperwork to get vetted to be the Attorney General. They've both been asked to do it. They both sit down and interviewed in different manners. I honestly think probably Schmidt, they may be pursuing him a little bit more than he's pursuing them. I think Bailey's doing everything asked of him to get the job. I really think the sweet spot, I mean, let's be honest, Trump fires these folks pretty fast. The sweet spot would be to go in there after the guy fires all of them and Trump then fires him and kind of puts it back together. That to me is a role. Look, I'll be honest with you. The Attorney General's office that Eric Schmidt inherited from Josh Hawley was not in very good shape. Schmidt put that office back together. Now, when he started running for Senate, some of the same folks that were bragging on him started saying how bad a job he had done. But I will tell you, I think the second person to hold that job is great. But I want to see Andrew Bailey stick around here and run for governor. I think Andrew Bailey, the war hero from Herman, has a lot to offer the state of Missouri, and I'd hate to lose him. And honestly, I was at Menards this morning. The folks at Menards, it ain't going to change their life who the Attorney General is. But one thing that could, and a far more important to us, if the Transportation Secretary, Todd Graves, congressman from North Missouri, he's actually a congressman from Lincoln County. His district comes all the way down there to Troy now. Now, he'd be ideal. If he could be transportation secretary, that would mean more to the folks at Menards this morning than who the attorney general is.
Interesting. Yeah, that I wasn't even that familiar with them. I'm glad you're teaching us, Scott. That's for sure. I'm just glad to hear that you did vote for Donald Trump, that you are excited that he did win. And
I am.
And Missourians getting out doing what they need to do. Real quick.
Can I be honest with you real fast, Vic? I have to say, I'm probably more excited. I've spent more time watching clips on the internet in the last week than I have in forever. Watching all the liberals be so shocked and put out that Trump won, the Schadenfreude in my German heart, it was probably more fun watching that than it was watching Trump win.
I agree. It has been some of the best entertainment yet.
I don't know how the hell Crystal Quaid got as many votes as she did going against Mike Kehoe. Now, Mike Kehoe dominated.
I do.
But still, she had over 1 million people in the state of Missouri vote for her.
Right. Well, that's because a lot of the Republicans have been told that, that Kehoe's a closet Democrat.
Oh, my God.
Him, being a rhino, they think he's a Democrat, and they didn't. I mean, I had to even, you and I talked about it. I had to do a little digging and make sure that, and I like him. I think he's a great guy. His wife's great, but there's a lot of people that were worried. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of Republicans that live in their grandma's basement and whine all day on Facebook. There's a lot of St. Charles Countyans that consider themselves Republicans, although I have no idea why. They're the most liberal people I've ever met. They want the government to do every single thing for them. But no, rural Missouri's governor, you woke up this morning in Mike Kehoe's Missouri. He won an overwhelming victory in the primary, the biggest victory of any first-term governor since Warren Hearns back in 1968. Mike Kehoe has the trust of this state because he's got common sense. And I think it's time for a common sense rally in this state. It needs to start in St. Charles County if you want the truth, because it would go from no common sense to at least some. I'm with you. There is a lot of whiny, effeminate Republicans that don't like Mike Kehoe, and I just say, hey, get out of the way. I mean, it's almost like Son-in-Law, right? You remember the old Pauly Shore movie where he goes to a farm on Thanksgiving? That's what it's like. A St. Charles County and coming to the farm. At some point, we just have to take it out of the way, son.
Yeah. Well,
and I think that's what Mike Kehoe's going to do. And God bless the folks that have to live in that county. I hope things turn around for every single one of them and they can move somewhere nice. But
stop. Hey, real quick, why do you think people call him a Democrat?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why. Did you support school choice? Do you like the school choice efforts in this state?
Yeah. What do you mean? Which part though?
Yeah.
Where you can get essentially a voucher to go to whatever school you want.
Yeah,
that's something you'd support, right?
Hell yes.
Well, that got expanded in a historic bill this year, and I'll tell you the difference between why the St. Charles Countyization of the Missouri Republican Party. There's folks that would rather complain on Facebook about it not getting done, and if you're not out on Facebook whining and crying and throwing a fit, they think you're some sort of rhino or not in the fight. Mike Kehoe was the instrument. Ask anybody. Ask the bill sponsors, the groups that were pushing legislators for. Ask the legislators themselves. It was about 6 votes short in the House. Now, Mike Kehoe could have got on Facebook and said, you're all rhinos and awful, and I'm from St. Charles, so I like to scream and cry all day. But he didn't. He went and quietly in their offices, twisted their arms, cajoled them, reminded him he was going to be governor, did horse trading. He's the one that took that thing from 6 votes down to 2 votes over on the strength of himself. people would come up and say, Representative Reedy, I think he said it on my TV show. He said, I'm not going to vote for this bill, but I'll vote for Mike Kehoe. That's actually leadership that accomplishes things. And I know that's a foreign concept. I know you have some listeners across the river there in Faughn or wherever, and they're probably in their cul-de-sac drinking their Starbucks, just park their Prius, and accomplishment is just a foreign thing. Mike Keogh actually accomplishes things, and I think he's got a real shot to be one of the greatest governors this state's ever had. You have a unique scenario with Cindy O'Laughlin, who's a get it done gal. She'll tell you exactly how they'll cal the cabbage, and you have John Patterson, who I think is the future of this party. All three in key spots at one time. I think you like Trump says, are you tired of winning? I mean, after Parson, you wouldn't think there's any winning left. I mean, one of the greatest governors we ever had. I think Kehoe's on par to be right there with him.
All right. So, hey, real quick, do you think that Kehoe, if we start getting an illegal immigrant issue problem, do you think that he's gonna, be that big guy that we need and come forward and say you're out?
I think you already have an illegal immigrant problem in St. Louis.
Well, it's not as bad as a lot of our blue neighboring cities, though.
I tell you what I think he's going to do, and this is my Stein knowledge white trash hillbilly prediction. I think Carla May is going to go on the PSC here in a few months, probably shorter sooner than later. I think they're going to pass state control of the St. Louis Police Department back again. I think that Mike Kehoe is going to bring money, not just look. We have a problem in rural Missouri. We just take your money and complain about you, and I'm as guilty of that as anybody. But really, there ain't no free cheese in West Butler County, where I'm from, without St. Louis paying the freight on that. And that's the truth. We don't like to talk about it, but it's real. Or I guess we in rural Missouri don't. I think Mike Kehoe is going to come with money. I think he's going to come with innovation. I think you're going to get a great prosecutor appointed in the meantime that Kehoe is going to have a say in. I think Mike Kehoe I think he believes, because his life was come from Walnut Park. It was so amazing to take my son to Walnut Park, Gussie, and show him, because he's been to Mike Kehoe's pool, and it's a nice pool. Let me just tell you, to show the poverty he came from, with no father, the way he's done things. It's always been through business and jobs. You cannot, I'm sorry, and I love the folks in St. Louis. The state needs you. The state needs you to do great. Vic, we used to talk about when Mizzou was on its knees. The state needed Mizzou to be better. We can't succeed as a state without Mizzou to the place it's at right now. We can't succeed as a state without St. Louis. And St. Louis, I'm sorry, I know this probably cuts folks. You cannot succeed with the level of crime you have. It just doesn't work. There's no possible way.
There is no possible way.
And I think Mike Kehoe laid that. I was on his bus somewhere between Neosho and Joplin, and he was kind of telling me how excited he was. And Andrew Bailey was sitting there nodding, and they were stoked that you're going to have a unified crime plan. Now, I don't know if it's going to work, but heck, at least somebody's trying something. I think part of that crime plan is going to be for the state to take the St. Louis Police Department back over. I think it's an experiment that was well-intentioned. It just hasn't worked. So I think you can't do that with Carla May in the Senate. So I think she's going to be on the PSC. And everybody respects Carla May. She's a Democrat. She thinks different than us, but she's highly regarded amongst her colleagues. They won't roll her. I think you have to get her out of the chamber.
Scott, you've thrown a lot at us too, real quick. I wanted to bring up the fact we had people go, Kehoe was funded by George Soros. This is a 2-point question.
He was.
Yeah. Well, was he? I mean, people. I've heard that out there. George Soros is giving Mike Kehoe money. I was like, are we sure that we know all of that? Are we sure we have all the facts?
Well, that's why he didn't get all the votes that we expected, because there are so many people that feel like he was given, Soros money, and there's been so many.
How could he have gotten any more votes? I mean, the guy won by the largest margin of first-term governors won
ever.
Right. Yeah. But Quaid, I mean,
what votes were left?
Well, you would think though that it would have been like you said, that Crystal Quaid would not have gotten as many votes, but there were a lot of Republicans that were on the fence, wondering, is he truly in it for us? Is he truly in it for the Republican Party?
I was one of them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. but when Mike came on this show, he won people over. We had Mike on multiple times.
He's a great guy.
I guess, Megan, I love your optimism. First of all, Crystal Quaid is a very good candidate. She was very articulate. She didn't have any money, or this would have been closer. The fact of the matter is, this state isn't a 60-40 state. This state's about a 54, 46 states, still very red. But Crystal Quaid had no money, or she would have done better. Crystal Quaid will be back. You'll see that name again. She was a very good candidate. The fact is, the people of this state love Mike Kehoe. His story is amazing. I mean, how cool is it that I get to tell my son that yes, and drive him to what is essentially a incredibly impoverished part of North St. Louis, and say this man did not live on his daddy. This man did not go get government grants. This man had to go build himself up with no father to live the American dream. I'm excited about Mike Kehoe. I don't know who didn't vote for him. Maybe Crystal's mom didn't vote for him, but boy, there ain't many folks in the state that didn't.
Scott, only because of time, I looked at public records and money. How in the heck did a George Soros PAC, and why give over $500,000 for a state Senate campaign against Republican Dave Gregory? Literally, that is out there. Why would they spend so much money to go after Dave Gregory's seat, which he won, by the way?
Well, one, you have to be careful. People throw the George Soros name around on the left, like
but that PAC money was one of his PACs, though, that was sending money.
You may be very right. I have just learned the hard way. Sometimes people say, "Oh, this is a George Soros PAC," because they disagree with it. Just like liberals say, "Oh, that's a Rick Singfield PAC," just because they disagree with what it's trying to do. I have no idea if it was, but I'll just tell you, Democrat campaigns are funded primarily by Washington and East Coast interest. Like the Will Sharf campaign was funded 90% by East Coast interests. East Coast interests have liberal interests as well. And I think you saw a ton of that money come in against David because, look, very competitive seat, and David Gregory is a star in the Republican Party. I think the hardest race he'll probably ever run was this one. I think you'll see him on the statewide ballot. And look, if you can nip a star, you do it. There's going to be a state Senate race in next November, 2 Novembers from now in Springfield. The Republicans will spend heavily to beat Crystal Quaid because they want to nip that star in the bud. And I think the Democrats tried to take out a man who just objectively is a rising star in this party.
Okay, I appreciate it. Do we even mention the Cardinals before we let you go? Because you're such a damn Cardinals fan. I'm so depressed with the Cardinals. Is there any hope there?
Well, I mean, the hope is you look. I think Bill DeWitt is a good owner who dropped the ball. I think he just dropped the ball. I respect loyalty. I think his loyalty to Mozeliak has taken him in a bad place. I think it's been over the top. I think, look, John Mozeliak deserves to be honored. He has had a lot of success here. Now, people say it was Lunel. Yeah, the guy in the chair gets the blame and the credit. John Mozeliak's legacy would have been so much better if at the end of this season he would have said, I'm going to step aside. I'm going to be an advisor. Here's the new guy. The new guy gets his own manager. I would love this reset. I would feel much better in any instance if the reset is being ran not by the people that made you need the reset to start with. And I just tell me how the guy that screwed it up is going to fix it. Look, Vic, we've seen it in every walk of life. You see a person come in, innovative, new ideas, full of, as we'd say here in the hills, piss and vinegar, and then you kind of run your course. And I think John Mozeliak ran his course, and he's just stayed too long. We've all had that buddy that we're all good and drunk and ready for bed, and he just won't call the Uber. And John Mozeliak is that annoying guy that starts telling the real bad jokes about 1:30
Well, what do
when
you
the rest
mean?
of us just
I'm
want to go to
very
bed.
smart. I know very well what to do
I
with
hate
this
it. And
team.
don't wear socks. He is honestly, if new money gone awry could be a human being, John Mozeliak is new money gone awry.
Have fun, my friend. Keep the charge going down there in Blair Oaks as well.
Yeah,
we love you.
Titletown, baby.
Titletown.
I'm gonna be up your way next week. Maybe I can come in and see the studio.
Scott, you're welcome here anytime. Please let me know when you come back in. All right, buddy.
You bet, buddy. Talk to you later. Good to see you, Megan.
Wait a minute, real quick. Remind everybody about your show in Missouri Times before we let you go.
Go to twmp.tv, Sunday mornings, 9 o'clock, ABC 30 in St. Louis. We had the incoming Speaker of the House, John Patterson, on the show this Sunday. I'd like to tell you who's going to be on next Sunday, but I have no idea yet.
Okay. You got it. Scott, we appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. Have a great day.
Take care. Good to see y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, love Scott Faughn. I mean, he's entertaining. He's super intelligent. He calls himself a hillbilly, whatever. He likes to self-deprecate, and he does a very good job at it. But when it comes to politics and the inner workings and who's put the hours in and knows how things work, whether you like what you hear or not, The man knows what he's talking about. And that's why I love talking with Scott, specifically when it comes to the candidates from Missouri who are making national names, Andrew Bailey, Eric Schmidt, and maybe one in the future, David Gregory. Scott saying exactly what I thought. Yes, the money coming in from Soros PACs. Yes, that is a fact. You can look it up. That money coming, almost $600,000 to defeat Dave Gregory in a state Senate seat.
Like he said, they want to nip him in the bud. They
you
see
nip
him.
a future star in the bud. Dave Gregory certainly has been that. So love talking with Scott. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's entertaining.
Hey, what else did we have, Joe, from the standpoint? I didn't know what time Scott was going to join us today. I know we had some other videos and things to get to, and I know we're at 10 o'clock, but man, God, we got so much going on today, and it's Mondays. Mondays can be very, very, very packed.
We have Thune.
Yeah, I have to get into this story before we get out of here. Is your time good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Because as good as things are going for Donald Trump, you have to look at what's happening within the Senate. This is something, I don't care. I know people want to hear the word rhino, but you literally have John Thune and Cornyn trying to become Senate Majority Leader. We've got somebody, Scott, who is actually Donald Trump's choice. Do we trust Donald Trump at this point? Wouldn't you want Trump working with somebody? Has he shown us enough trust yet that he knows who he should be working with? Or are you going to say, well, then Trump will be a dictator. He just has people. Haven't we given Donald Trump a mandate to go do what he has to do?
Yes.
The last thing in the world we need is somebody, a turncoat, Mike Pence, coming in and trying to do something to disrupt what Trump is trying to do with this amazing team that he's putting together.
Right.
I don't trust.
He's been vetting these people.
I don't trust
for the
Senator
last 4
Thune.
years.
Listen to what Senator Thune had to say over the weekend about Donald Trump, whether Donald Trump should be involved. This is the president-elect in who becomes the Senate Majority Leader. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Donald Trump should. I think we've given him a mandate, and I damn well think that he should be picking or at least influencing who the Senate Majority Leader is. And maybe I'm wrong.
Is President-elect Trump involved in, does he have a chosen preference in the Senate? Do you know, Senator? And will that come into play?
I don't know that he does. I'm staying in regular contact with him and with his team. And, obviously, if he wants to, he could exert a considerable amount of influence on that. But honestly, I think my preference would be, and I think it's probably in his best interest, to stay out of that. These Senate secret ballot elections are probably best left to senators, and he's got to work with all of us when it's all said and done. But whatever he decides to do, that's going to be his prerogative, as we know. But I think we're going to have that election next Wednesday, and we'll have a new leader.
Okay. He should probably sit out.
Right.
There's just something about the way that he said that. And you look at his past and you look at his friendship with Mike Pence. It just rubs me the wrong way. I believe Donald Trump learned his lesson in 2016 and he trusted a lot of people he shouldn't have. For one, I'm ready to give him total control and see what happens.
Yeah.
Why not? After everything that he's been through, why would we trust Donald Trump on so many things and then not trust his influence? And for somebody to say Donald Trump should sit this out, that scares me. That makes me want to run from Thune.
Yeah.
And Cornyn as well. By the way, his pick, Donald Trump has made it pretty obvious. The guy that he wants to get it is Rick Scott. And he now, according to Kalshi and the betting services, and people think that he will be the new Senate Majority Leader. That vote expected on Wednesday. I just don't trust Thune or some of these people who could be, quote, considered rhinos. And you can make fun of me for using the word rhino, but I'm telling you, I don't trust them. It has a lot of Mitch McConnell smell, taste, and sound to it, which I go, Donald Trump finally broke that guy. The last thing we need is for him to go away or for him to come back. He needs to stay away.
Well, right. And there are a ton of people on the right that are just as fearful of Trump as there are on the left. That they know that he's going to come in and clean house and they're not going to like it either. So it's not like, everybody on the right is Trump's, cheer team. Come on in, and rolling out the red carpet for him. No, I mean, they're just as nervous as the left. And so we should be hesitant. And when we hear people say things like this, that's for sure. And he does. I mean, is Donald Trump now a true politician? I don't know. I truly don't. But what we all can say for sure is that he has he has seen the dirty side of this. He's learned his lesson. He has seen what people can do. He's seen the backstabbing. And I truly feel like he and his team are paying really close attention to who's going to, try and do things, behind his back,
You've got
right
the Senate.
or left.
You've got the Senate. You're more than likely going to have the House. I think 18 races left, only 4 spots needed to take control of the House as well now. Why would that's a total mandate. You won by almost 7 million votes, 312 electoral votes, a massive victory for Donald Trump. And Thune's going to say Trump doesn't need to be getting involved in this? Really? Really? That's because he knew that Donald Trump does not support him. He supports Scott. At this point, we saw the turncoats. We saw what happened. That's the last thing we need is somebody who's going to be working with the left to get certain votes to stop any sort of agenda that Donald Trump is trying to bring through.
Yep.
That just rubs me the wrong way. And that's where I'm like, I trust Donald Trump. I don't trust these other people. By the way, too, over the weekend, RFK also said that they're going to clean house at the FDA.
Good.
That there's nothing that gets me more excited about that than, of course, what we're putting into our bodies. And he said if those people who are told to leave do not leave, they'll create a Health and Human Services department in Guam and ship them to Guam. They can work from Guam. And guess what? They're not lying. They're not joking. I'm not going to think that's a joke. They're going to take care of business. It's all starting with food and water and everything else. He has already put forth an agenda where no forced vaccines. I mean, not only are they a historic team, they're talking about historic changes, which could so much better this country. And this is why the left fought so hard. The deep state fought so hard, literally with bullets, to try to stop this man from taking office. People, even if you don't like Trump, enjoy it because the pocketbooks are going to look better. Your bodies are going to be better. You're going to have a healthier situation. As Scott Faughn brought up, mostly school options, which are coming through. We showed you the sound earlier, taking care of IVF for women. Oh, he hates women. Oh yeah. Okay. Whatever. And of course, we already showed you what he has done in regards to the voting. Hell, women 30 and under. Yeah. Massive change for Donald Trump as well. So none of the media narratives have turned out.
Well, and Scott, like Scott said too, he doesn't care for Trump. He doesn't like him. He thinks he's an idiot.
Yeah,
but
he
you know
does.
what?
But guess what? He voted for him.
Exactly. And Trump's not calling him to say, hey, come out and hang out with me and have dinner. I mean, that's not the situation.
One of our show sponsors, Ben, hates him.
Yeah.
From Wendy's, but he's like, you know what? He's the best damn leader we have. And that's why I'm voting for him. And of course, he was a Jewish man who voted. And we saw the incredible amount of Jewish people who voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah. Again, it's not a personality contest. It's who's going to, run our country in the way that we need it to be run.
But before we get out of here today, I wanted to show, it was just another video. It's just, you know what? It's a love video for Donald Trump because so many things that Donald Trump has done over the years went unnoticed. The only thing that was portrayed was something bad that he said here or bad that he did there. And that was the media. And all of us have had moments where we've said things that we have regretted. We've had outbursts or we've done something. And then most of the time people don't know about it because you're not in a public position. But we try to show the good that's there too. And I wanted to end on a good note because these are the stories that are all over the place when it comes to Donald Trump. We have shown them here. We'll continue to show them. But once again, just another example of who Donald Trump is and why I vote to give him a mandate, a full mandate, and to say, screw all the freaking rhinos who are trying to take over the Senate because you know what'll happen. It'll be their opportunity to, I'm going to grandstand and I'm going to do what I want to do now, as we saw with certain officials who Trump has railroaded on the way as the Trump Express has come down the tracks. Here's a story about who Donald Trump is, a man helping out a person who needed some help.
At the age of 22, I was on the brink of being homeless. I remember one night on Christmas Eve, I walked into the St. Patrick's Cathedral and I said, God, please give me purpose. As I exited, I walked down Fifth Avenue and it was this gorgeous building. I walked inside and I said, I'm looking for work. The next day, Trump hired me off the street. He gave me 5 navy blue suits. He shook my hand and he said, welcome to the family. I remember the night I was assigned to drive Mr. Trump to a meeting. I dropped him off And as he's getting out of the car, he said to me, "Can I bring you a steak? Because I'm going to be in there for quite a while." Who am I for him to stop his meeting and bring me something to eat? You know, I hear these accusations, but let me tell you firsthand, he employed people from all origins. We were all treated like family. And I remember that, and I admired him for that. He put us all first. He once gave me a personal letter expressing just how proud he was of me. These words, they have been a constant reminder of how much I have been appreciated. At the age of 22.
We can't see enough of those stories, especially with what the national media has done to Donald Trump since 2016.
Yeah. Yep. There's, and like Glenn said, there are so many stories like this, but he's not looking for people to notice these things. He's not looking for people to pat him on the back. He does these things behind closed doors, and he does them all the time. There's hundreds of stories out there like this. So
we're grateful for you guys joining us, making cancelthisshow.com what it is. I said happy birthday to the Marines yesterday, by the way, 249th birthday, as well as it being Veterans Day. We all know a veteran, somebody who we have, somebody in our family. And of course, we see this wonderful picture.
So you guys, I had to show this. I used to dress my boys up like this every Veterans Day growing up. They would absolutely kill me if I showed you guys this, but I just love it. And they'd go, and they were troopers, but this is how I sent them to school every Veterans Day. And then there's a picture of my dad who is just an awesome guy. This is him this is his helicopter, and he named it In Cold Blood. And so he was in Vietnam, and he was a fighter helicopter pilot, and served about 18 months over there. And so, yeah, my grandpa too, but I didn't throw that picture in there. But thank you to all of the military personnel, whether you're in the front lines, on the back lines, and just to all that have gone before us. I mean, we live in an amazing, free, democratic, Republican country, and right now, there's just no room for the social experimenting with diversity programs in the military. We need to keep a strong military. I feel like they should use those social experiments somewhere else, not in our military.
And they overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. If you don't believe me, talk to military members. Don't believe the hype by one or two people or a training video that is very DEI centered, because it's not true.
Well, right. And then you send people like my dad out there, and all these other folks out there with DEI hires that, and then their lives are on the line. So it's just no place for any of that. And
special shout out to I've said the story before. Grandpa was there on D-Day, rushed the beaches at Normandy. Man saved his life. Name was Victor. My dad was named Victor. I was a junior. So obviously we all have stories of some sort, and we know people. Happy Veterans Day. We can't say it enough. We're grateful for you guys watching us here on the show too. We'll be back here tomorrow, but I wanted to send out shout outs to people who help make this show go. Complete Auto Body Care. Once again, complete auto body repair throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, 5 locations. They get you in, they get you out. They take care of your car, everything A to Z. They even sell tires, and they sell cars. Plus, they have multiple jobs available. 314-731-7999. You can go to CompleteAB.com. Let them know you appreciate them advertising on CancelTheShow.com. They love to hear it. A man who we just talked about a little bit ago, David Gregory. He is Missouri's, and he is America's conservative attorney. And he's going to tell you flat out, yes, I'm a personal injury attorney. I am a conservative, and I will back you. The same attorney who was 7-0 with people keeping their jobs because they refused to get that shot in their arm. When it comes to anything from a PI standpoint, when it comes to any sort of personal injury, Dave's your guy to call. If it's an accident, vehicles, motorcycles, trucking, you name it, Dave's going to take care of you. I've used him twice. Joe has used him twice. Before you sign with anybody, you check with Dave. And by the way, if you bring up Cancel This, he's going to make sure that you get an extra 5% back on whatever the settlement is because you brought up Cancel This. Dave is also taking care of freedom of religion, freedom of work. You got it. Dave takes care of that, and he can work with you in any of the states across the country. And by the way, he happens to be Missouri's newest state senator as well, the only conservative state senator representing St. Louis in the state of Missouri. Our good friends at Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley and in Defiance work hard, play hard. You know, we do this all the time. We ask 7 different people what their favorite food is there, and you might get 7 different answers. Great time, great service. You always go back. You can get in, you can get out as well. We appreciate Winty's and the support that they give this show as well. Also, Playoff Sports Bar and Grill in O'Fallon, Missouri. Great place. Hope people are getting in there. And when you go in there, tell Detroit Mike you appreciate him. Advertising on Cancel This. It's a terrific place to watch any of your sporting events, specifically when it comes to the NFL. Hey, you need some new clothes. You try out you try out fitted clothes. You get things taken care of. You do that with Tom James, specifically Ben Lawler. Ben takes care of you. The nice jacket that I have on from Ben. You get an opportunity, the selection, hundreds of items, maybe thousands of items, because they represent clothing all over the world. It may shock you how affordable it is. You get something that fits you. They adjust with you. Lifetime alterations. It just works. You can contact Ben, 314-862-6500, 314-862-6500, or you can email him at ben.lawler@tomjames.com. Also, the economy's starting to boom a bit. Our interest rate's going to go down. Will the real estate market start to boom as well? You don't want to be sitting back. You need to give Megan Livingstone a call, 314-249-1708, 314-249-1708, megan.livingstone@exprealty.com, exprealty.com. Megan's got a positive approach. You give her a call, you set a game plan, and you stick to it, because we know it can be up and down and all around when it comes to real estate, but you have to get your plan in place. That's why she's helping so many people as it is now, even people who aren't buying or selling right now, but putting their plan in place. Give Megan a call. Make sure you're ready to go from that standpoint. Also, wequipusa.com. Hey, if you want to rent items out, if you want to rent items from other people, go to wequipusa.com, wequipusa.com. It'll shock you what you can get. All kinds of items. If you need something quick, they connect you with people in your area. You do whatever you possibly can to get in there. It is Veterans Day. We appreciate all the support of people. And if you appreciate our free speech platform, we would appreciate any donations too. You can go to canceltheshow.com and click on donation, canceltheshow.com. We're grateful for the help. We're grateful for the platform that we have, not only for us, but for you guys as well. And that's why the show's become so popular over the past year and a half or so, that we do it. Of course, as we go to our ending of the show today, we have a commercial which shows you who we are and what we're about. So if you know of anybody that wants to advertise with us, we tailor plans. We put things together that work to see if we can reach your audience from whatever it may be.
Is that it? You got anything else?
I think that's it.
You got anything else in there?
Nope. From it just goes right there, all from my head, right there.
Man, you're good. I'm telling you, there's no script for this guy, guys. I mean, this is just him. He's just a natural.
That's right. 27 years of doing that. When it comes to what's happening this week, Donald Trump obviously still makes news. The historic victory finally came out, 312 electoral votes. Wednesday is a big vote. We'll see what else happens from there, but we're also seeing cabinet positions being announced. Where else he goes from the standpoint, we don't know. We're going to wait and see, but man, is it fun to watch this.
Oh yeah, it is.
As we see history start to change.
Yep. I love it.
Donna says, looking forward to a better year. And by the way, you can catch all of our media as well. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We are there every day as well as we put our reels out there. And of course, you can get more about us and learn more about us at canceltheshow.com. We'll be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. We love it when you guys are here.
Yep, sure do. God bless America and all of our troops. And we're going to be back tomorrow.
So for Projo and Megan Marie Moret, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, we love it. Thank you. Thanks for making the show what it is. Thank you for jumping in on the show today. And thanks to Scott Faughn for a fun, spirited conversation. And of course, remember to like, subscribe, share the show. Let everybody know what we're doing, because we love this, and we're backing this, and we're just trying to be the best that we can be. And we appreciate all your guys' help for story ideas and interviews. Have an awesome day. Go Chiefs. Go Lions. Mm-hmm. Go Mizzou. Talk to you guys later.
Hoosiers.
And Hoosiers. Presents partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners. and we continue to grow monthly.
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
Dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan, all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized,
and the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact together.